it really comes across in your tone, like so much more than you would think. Where when I'm in the game and I'm vibing, even if my team is like straight up eating glue, like, and I'm just keeping it light, I'm like with the comms, then people are just more they just listen more, right? Whereas if you're very tense, and what I think for me personally, my anecdote is that the tension comes from like knowing the game's not going the way I want it to and desiring a certain outcome. Like I want to win and I expect my teammates to do certain things, so I'm getting frustrated. But like that just
Yeah.
comes across in the way you communicate. Whereas like just keep it light. It's like, yo, guys, like it's like, yo, let's check the runes and smoke up. I'm hella strong. Like people like that. But if I'm like, check the runes, oh, we
Yeah,
lost.
I know
We lost.
exactly.
Or
Exactly.
after, and I can feel it because like some games I'll be like super light and I'm like, yo, like we can fight on the runes, guys. Like I fucking own right now. And people are like, hell yeah, let's go to the runes. And then I had one game where like after I'm jaded after a long night at Dota where the guy gets the rune and it's like, this is just terrible comms across the board where it's like 6:05 and the guy already got the rune. I'm like, guys, we need to check the runes. It's
Yeah,
like,
no,
Jesus.
exactly. That's
the
that's
worst
bad.
vibes ever. It's just awful.
Hello and welcome back, or welcome for the first time to the Dota Club Podcast. The patch just dropped. We have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Or do we? Because
Or
we
do
spent a lot of time in the queue together these past few
Oh
days, and
my
we just like
God.
talk for hours in the queue because it's
We can't
a
find a
pretty unique
game.
situation. It's not that
Mhm.
Dota's dead. I think Dota's like really, really, really far from dead, to be honest, because the
Yeah.
people who play it like love it. But it's just because Pyne and I are like basically at the threshold for Immortal Draft. We're like about to hit 8.5, but
8.5.
right now we're duoing like in role queue games. And we don't accept draft games because we find that they're just like worse quality and we win a
There's
lot
some
more.
weirdos in draft. I mean, we're gonna have to bite the bullet eventually, but like every
Yeah.
draft game I've played is just like one team gives up like 10 minutes in.
Yeah. And we also don't accept questionable games when we queue ranked. But at first, it's funny. Like, I didn't care at all about that. And
Yeah, I
then
didn't
just
think it
like
mattered.
looking at the data, dude, you and I have won, I think, 10% of our questionable games out of like
Yeah.
7 or something.
I just
And
don't
our overall win rate is like 70%, but we
I
just
want to
don't win
peek
the
into the
questionable
algorithm.
games.
Like I want Valve
No,
to like
Valve knows with the questionable
no,
games.
exactly. Because you'll get a questionable game and it'll be acceptable skill difference, acceptable behavior score. So it's like, why is this questionable? And then you get into the game and then like some guy gives up like 5 minutes in. It's like, how did they know? They just knew.
Yeah. I've also found that questionable games are more likely to have Smurfs. So I think that Valve like
Yeah, that's what I
puts
think
that
it
into
is.
their algorithm. Not that that makes the game like weirder or something. Like some games it'll be not a Smurf, but they'll be just like
It's
much
just
more likely to
questionable.
grief.
Like quite literally, it's
Yeah,
just
the game
question. It's
just
just a
feels
little
weird.
sussy.
Like I'm
Yeah.
questioning the integrity of the game. Like, was
Yeah,
there
it's
ever a
always
chance
strange.
for me to win this game? That's
Yeah,
like
no,
kind of how
the
I go
questionable
into it.
games are always like really strange.
Or the
Where like
enemies giving up or something. Somehow Valve knows, dude.
yeah,
Valve is a company I actually really like. Like, I mean,
I
obviously
would
they
agree.
did Steam.
A lot of people
Like,
wouldn't, but I would agree.
really? I mean, they really cook, man. Like, they did Steam, which is the biggest PC distribution platform, obviously. And also, I learned recently that Gabe Newell is making his own version of the Neuralink, like the AI chip
Really?
in your
Holy.
brain.
Well, I think
Yeah, which was insane to me that to find out that he was doing that.
yeah, that's insane. I think the reason why people don't like Valve is because they see other companies, like other video game companies like Riot, just like pour so much into their games. But like it's a blessing that they update the game, to be honest, because it's just not their main gig, right? Like Steam is their main gig. So like the fact that I get a patch in Dota, like I'm happy, man. Like
Yeah, Dota is like a passion project for them, and they like
exactly.
it, and they do give love to it.
Yeah, I agree. Dude, there's so much random shit to talk about the patch. I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
I saw something
What are
really disturbing
your
today.
top 3 mids? You give your top 3
Top
mids, and
three
I'll give my
mids.
top 3 carries.
I don't even know if I would do mids because I don't even like mids or whatever.
You can
Honestly,
give your top 3 mids. It doesn't have to be like the best mids of the patch.
I think
Just what mids have you been enjoying?
Storm is the most reliable mid laner. Today in Dream League he was getting first phase banned. Like they just don't want you to have Storm. It's
That's
also the fifth most.
interesting.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
fifth most contested hero in Dream League, which is crazy because he's
that
not a
makes
flex pick,
sense.
right?
Storm is
Like
oppressive. Storm is oppressive.
yeah, he's really oppressive. So I think Storm's possibly the best mid. I don't really know if he's the best, but then because Storm's the best, you see like other heroes that are really good are like counters. Like Puck is probably the most common counter to Storm. So I think that is really good as well. Good morning, Boomerhand. I don't play
Morning,
Puck that much.
Boomerhand. Thank you for the follow. Thanos Slam.
I don't think that mid meta is as like mid isn't as highly influenced by the meta, especially when it's not like some sniper patch where like sniper is super broken mid or something like that, because people just kind of play all their heroes.
Yeah. Side note about Sniper, he is the weakest hero in Dota right now. I heard that from Arteezy's mouth.
What was the logic on that again?
Because his third spell used to give plus 20 armor when you used it, and now it gives plus 0. So they didn't change anything about him, but they just got rid of like 20 armor on his spell.
Vision in a cone as well. It's really strange. If you haven't pressed that button, you should go to the demo lobby and press it.
That's terrible. It's way too much vision for him to actually use.
It's like double his attack range's vision.
So yeah, I saw one of my coaching students playing Sniper the other day, and I told them not to do that.
Yeah, I would agree.
In a ranked game, don't play Sniper. It's no longer the like mid cheese dominator that it used to be.
Yeah, so I don't have good
armor.
I don't really have good Rex for mid, to be honest.
What do you mean, Storm, Ember?
Well, but like Ember, for example, has been doing really bad in Dream League ever since the patch dropped, and he only got buffed. He literally got buffed.
I have a hot take about Ember, and this is crazy because this is like your best hero, and you play it a lot in our pubs.
Controls our teammates to feed.
No, I think Ember Spirit is not a good pub hero to win a lot in pubs. Because I think playing around Ember Spirit like doesn't require nuance. But compared to a hero like Storm, I mean, we've talked about this off camera before, but Storm's power is just much more straightforward, and it's easier to play with from a pub teammate perspective because you're just picking people off. You just go on the guy, and then your team also like follows up with their damage on top of your damage.
People know what to do when you're Storm, because I'll like ping I have an Orchid or something, and then they just put me in smoke, and I go zip on a guy on vision, and the guy gets completely boomed. Right?
What's up, P-Bucks?
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of YouTube viewers. This is cool.
Yeah. When I'm Ember, people don't really know how to play off of it because like a lot of the times as Ember, I'm not like all-inning somebody. I'm just like poking them with slight chaining some people, etc. And I'll do that, and then my guy will like run into the tier 2 and just like feed.
Yeah.
I slight chained a guy. But like when I'm Storm and I jump a guy, everyone knows like, okay, let's just like run in and press every button on this guy that Storm's on.
Because you're committing on Storm when you go in. Not fully. Like you can get out. It doesn't have to be a full commit. But like, on Ember, it's much more of a poke.
I'm literally never committed.
Yeah, exactly.
Just never committed.
But on Storm, let me put it a different way. On Storm, when you go in, you're like you probably want to kill the guy.
You're all inning the guy.
Yeah, exactly. You're all inning him. Versus on Ember, you're like literally just poking.
Synergize. Like a lot of the times on Ember, I just want to like slight chain some guys and maybe set up some other spells from a distance. But like people don't get that. The other issue that I have on Ember a lot is I will, and this is like why it's hard for teammates to play with in pubs, is I'll put a remnant down and I'll be safe and I will tell my team 500 times that I'm safe. I will get out. So just be careful.
They don't
and
care.
We'll be at like the wisdom rune fight, right? Or something like the 14-minute wisdom. And then 5 enemy heroes will TP and I remnant away. And then all my boys just feed. All my boys just die. And it's like, I get like, and they're like mad at me because like I left them out to dry, but it's like, I never planned to fight 5 enemies in the first place, man. I always planned to get away. That's why I put the remnant on the floor.
That's the nuance I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
So remember, you like want to force enemy TPs and stuff.
I also think, in particular, we talked about this before, but I think this is why Storm is so good in pubs in particular, is that Storm is demoralizing to lose versus, and it boosts the morale of your team so much when you're owning on Storm.
I think it's because people know that he scales really well.
Yeah, well,
like we talked about this off camera too, but Storm in the late game hits the god inventory when you have the Ags and the shard and the 25 talent and you have galvanized stats. Like
he turns on no clip.
He's just no clipping around the map.
He's got like 60 mana regen late game. He has black hole on like a 12-second cooldown. He's running around doing like 5,000 damage every team fight. Like it's literally just your god mode. On Ember, it's like so cuck instead. Like I'm just like slight chaining people for 0 damage.
It's still good.
No, it's
with
good.
The Ags, it's still good. But on Storm, it's like a different level. Like when we talked about this off stream and came up with like the God mode bit. And you said Wind Ranger also had a god mode inventory, but I like disagree. Storm is the only hero who like
God mode inventory.
Storm is the only hero who enters God mode in the game.
When you get to God mode on Storm, I want to clarify what the timing is. The timing is the 25 talent is the biggest piece. It's the overload 2 times bounce. So every time you have an overload proc, your autos are bouncing around. It's that plus the shard. And that's the one where you buff your whole team with overload for the next like 3 attacks. And you give everyone like 100 attack speed or some ridiculous number. So that's the main one. And then I also like Ags with that because you just get like an Ags. You like zip in black hole some people. You blue hole some people. And you press the shard. And everybody on the screen just gets deleted instantly. Especially because your whole team's usually hitting. But the reason why it's the God mode inventory compared to like, I don't know, other inventories is that he, like, if I go in, it doesn't matter how tanky the target is. If I go in with the God mode inventory, I will just like one shot their entire team unless there's like saves or something. But like even like the tankiest targets will just die.
It's a lot of damage. You're unkillable. You literally have Black Hole on a 7-second cooldown.
Yeah, it's absurd. It's different for me to like say what I think is meta in Dream League and what I would recommend, because I think Kunkka is really good. But do I recommend Kunkka for winning pubs?
I would not recommend Kunkka. Yeah,
I would recommend Storm for winning pubs. What else would I even recommend, dude? That's like the best hero by far. I think Lesh is pretty good.
Nah, I don't know if I'd recommend Lesh.
He's like a specialist savant hero, and he's good in certain drafts.
The mid meta is really weird, honestly.
You just play whatever you want. Like I play like Monkey. Monkey's really good. Okay, if you want my actual saucy pick for the patch that I think is good that no one's playing, it's Bat Rider with Stoked. Bat Rider with Stoked is fire.
That I think is a good rec.
I think
if people want to learn Bat, it's a really good time to learn Bat.
It's a good time to learn Bat. Bat's pretty hard, so I wouldn't like recommend it. Like the spellcasting is very nuanced, so I wouldn't really recommend it to like low ranks or anything like that. But that's who I'm enjoying a lot on the patch.
I don't know why, but I feel like Bat is a better rec than like Lesh. Bat is, I think, harder to learn than Lesh, but a common theme I'm finding in these heroes that I like to recommend, or like in our rank games, I like, urge you to play Storm. It's because the power is straightforward.
Yeah, you just
like in Lesh, also the power's nuanced because you're doing a lot of damage, but you also need to like play the edge of your life. And the best Leshes really I see will like barely survive, or they like look tanky, but they're like half HP, and it gets sketchy. Like they really kind of almost die, or like they go in, and I don't know if like they're gonna die or not. Or the line,
sometimes
I'll put it this
tell
way:
if it looks good or not, and then everyone explodes because does so much damage.
The line between owning and ruining the game is like very thin.
Yeah, but in comparison on Storm, it's just like you're just owning.
I think Ember's the same way, where like sometimes you'll bait 5 enemy TPs and you'll get out, and sometimes you'll just die. And it's like that's the line between ruining the game or like owning. And it's just thin.
Yeah, I do think that heroes like Storm are just more powerful in pubs. I think that like I don't know. I agree with you. Like I like stuff that has a straightforward game plan, because like your teammates just get lost in the sauce in the pub so often. If you have to play like because a lot of Ember's identity is like split pushing.
Yeah, well, it's not about the game plan. I want to stop that. It's about the power. Because I'm not saying it's easy to play Storm compared to Ember. I don't think that's the case.
You just zip in.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
No, yeah.
But yeah, no, it's not. It's definitely not necessarily easier. But it's
hard to manage your mana on Storm.
Well, the power is straightforward, though. I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The power is straightforward, but the game plan is not necessarily easy.
Because part of it builds into the game plan, but a lot of the power of Ember is the fact that he can like get out, that he can force TPs, that he doesn't have to commit, right? But people don't know how to play.
Storm is just damage and catch.
Like a lot of the times when I win on Ember, what happens is that they all jump me with 5 heroes, and I remnant away on 1 HP, and my team wins the fight. But like that is like very nuanced compared to like I play Storm, I buy Orchid, go gank Puck.
Yeah.
Go Puck
and
again.
This is exactly why, to talk about carries now, why I don't like recommending a hero like Terrorblade or playing a hero like Terrorblade, but I do recommend to play a hero like Clinks, right? Yeah. Because Terrorblade's power is not very straightforward. You need people to be stunned in front of you. You need to use your meta well. You need to like show up late to fights. You need to transition the fights into objectives with your meta. Yeah. But on Clinks, you literally just go invis. It basically hastes move speed, and you find the enemy mid or enemy carry in the jungle, and you like ping them 50 times and wait for your team to walk over, and you just kill them. And you have very straightforward damage.
That I like about Storm when I play him is that he's not cooldown based, right? It's just mana. Obviously you're still like playing for your timings or whatever. It's not, if you have full mana, you don't need to like go dive or anything. But like he doesn't have cooldowns, and I hate playing cooldown heroes, to be honest, just because when you don't have your cooldown, your whole team is like freaking out that you're not like fighting as like Magnus with no RP, or like Pango without roll, like TB without meta. I mean, people know about meta, I think, more, but like people will literally just be in my ear if I'm Pango and I just use roll, and I'm saying like we can go in like 40 seconds, and they want to go now.
Yeah.
This is also something that I think you and me are good at sometimes, that a lot of people in pubs are bad at, which is being comfortable just waiting till the plays are good. Because last patch we were on our like Beastmaster AA, and the plan is so straightforward. It's whenever we have Roar and AA Blast, go attack, right? And if you don't have that, just chill. And so many people, like I remember there was one time where I was AA and I had Blast and I wanted to smoke you and you had Roar, but you had started farming like a hard cap stack and you were like, let me just farm this shit, then we'll
Yeah,
go.
it was an
And
ancient
so,
stack. I
dude,
remember that.
oh yeah, an ancient stack. And it
We
takes a
just
while.
waited 20 seconds and then the play
Exactly.
was still good.
And so many of your supports, like if it wasn't me, would just be like, just smoke you anyways, or like just be a griefer, or like run in without you in feed. And it's
I
like,
actually,
we can just wait. We can just
I
wait.
feel like what they would do actually, because they see me hitting an ancient stack, like they're gonna not press smoke on me when I'm doing that. But what they would do is they would go to another part of the map instead of just waiting
when you're
for
like,
me.
I'm down to smoke in 30 seconds, dude. Like,
yeah, they wouldn't have the patience to wait for me.
Exactly.
But,
people don't have patience. Like,
yeah,
you can, because well, I think the reason why is when we're being patient, it's because we're basing our patience in like something we understand, right? And I think a lot of these people just don't understand. They're not thinking about the game and like how to synergize. So they're just like flying in the dark, and they're like, I want to fight. This guy doesn't want to fight. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, go
this
to
guy doesn't
another
wanna
guy.
fight. But it's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I'm down to fight in 30 seconds, bro. Just wait. Just S key in the triangle and wait. You can sap us some XP too. Like, I don't give a fuck. Just wait. But so for that reason, I hate playing cooldown heroes. And it's actually weird because I also hate playing against cooldown heroes because your team never takes advantage of the cooldowns. Your shit, or like they press every single huge spell and your whole team is just farming when that's your huge window to go. But when
really,
I'm on,
I've actually had the opposite experience. I feel like
really,
people in pubs know. Like if I call like global RP on cooldown go, my team's down to just run it down mid.
I agree, but like even then, like I just feel like a weird pressure because you have to make something happen in that window, and a lot of the times, like the boys are just not looking robust, and you're just like fumbling around in the dark trying to like force because there's no like I feel like it applies like mental pressure to your team because you have to go without the cooldowns. And the other thing, I think this is more of my point, is I don't like playing against cooldown lineups because cooldown lineups are usually a lot of team fight. And when the enemy team has superior team fight to you, your team just crumbles because the only thing these players know how to do is just run in and 5v5 24/7. So you just run in, get destroyed by all the spells, wait, and then you just run in, get destroyed by all the spells again. But if you're against team fight and cooldown based lineups, you need to abuse the cooldowns. And another thing you need to do is split them up, right? If they can beat you 5v5, you need to go side lanes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But a lot of people just don't do that.
Or
So
I'm thinking
really
of the
playing
Ursa
against
Monkey game we played where we were against the heavy team fight lineup and we took advantage of their cooldowns really well.
Yeah,
and our team like followed us in, you know. They weren't doing anything amazing, but they were down to like go with us
I think we fought into the cooldowns too,
like
though.
global was on cooldown. No, we weren't, dude. That was a hard game. That was my Ursa game against the Jugg.
I remember.
And the Jugg had like
the cooldowns are
10K
getting pressed
network.
on me in the middle lane. There's 5 ults on me every single time I go.
Yeah.
Like every single 2 minutes, there's
And
5
then
ults on me.
I went in when they were down.
Yes, I know. I was a gray screen. So that's what I was doing while the cooldowns were down.
Great work.
Yeah, thank you. We won the fights though.
Yeah.
But
anyway, I wanted to go back to talk about carries. I'm releasing a carry video pretty soon about my top 3 carries of the patch. Not the best carries because I feel like
just what you recommend.
Not necessarily what I recommend, but like what's working for me. And like I guess what I would kind of recommend to other people too. But you don't need to follow them. But Clink's, TA, and Ursa have been like my 3 carries this patch. TA is still really good. I mean, I really like that pool because it's well-rounded. Like the heroes, all 3 of those heroes actually have very different identities and do very different things. And it adds a level of like freshness every game when I pick like one of those
it's good to have
heroes.
a versatile hero pool like that.
But
I've struggled from that.
Like, dude, just to like straight flame Torte lini recently or right now. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't want to be like
let's get it
too flameful, but
not flame them.
There's a few things. One is
there's a few things.
Well, this is funny. I wanted to say this on the podcast for a while. I do coaching. I mean, all you guys probably know that, but I've coached a lot of Templar Assassin because like she was really good last patch, and all the TA players would go Psyblades level 2. And I was wondering why. Like that'd be the first, or like one of the first things I tell people after like melding on the runes is to not go Psyblades level 2 because it really ruins the lane. Because refraction and meld is such a good combo. No, it's his guide. It's his guide in the game that recommends Psyblades level 2. And it's Giga Grief. No, it's Giga Grief. And a lot of my students like saw a difference literally after they just started taking refraction level 2 and they killed people level 2. But that's fine. I mean, he makes guides for every hero. Like he's gonna make mistakes. He can't be perfect. But then he released
Actually, I don't want to go too much into the hate. Yeah.
No, it's not hate. Like I'm keeping it to the Dota. I think he has a good work ethic, and he averages a lot of viewers on Twitch, and like I respect him like as a content creator.
Yeah.
But he released he released a video today about the best carries of the patch, and on the thumbnail is Juggernaut. Like that is just
not true.
So wrong. That's the problem I have with it. Yeah, it's just false.
That is just slanderous.
And why I don't like that content because he's trying to do too much. He's trying to say that he knows the best carries of the patch, whereas like I saw another video today by another creator, and it was about supports, and it was 3 supports to gain MMR with in the new patch. And I really loved like that title and framing better than Torte Lini's because he wasn't trying to do too much. It was like, you know, these are just heroes to gain MMR with. Yeah, it's not these are the objective best heroes. And it's
if
just
you actually wanted that, you should consult the statistics and like look at Dream League or something. There's no Jugg.
Yeah, or like
zero Jugg.
I hope the enemy carry is picking Juggernaut. Exactly, I agree, Boomerhand.
Because it's ass.
Yes.
And one of the most popular carries is patch is Ursa, which just like you can't play. Actually, we literally just beat a Jugg earlier, like yesterday.
Yeah, the Jugg had a monster game. I mean, I'll admit Jugg's lane is really good now, and I think he's like a B or maybe even like low A tier carry. I think he's better than he's been in the past few years. Yeah, no, his spin level 1 is like devastating.
Yeah,
and the Jugg had a monster game, and I was Ursa. This will be an interesting thing to talk about because I mean I'm very, very familiar with the Ursa Jugg matchup because I'm like
from both sides,
master tier on both of those heroes. Yeah, from both sides. And Jugg was having a really good game, and I was having like a decent game. And we were both farming on the same side of the map alone. And I knew that if I like run into Jugg, because I knew the hard camp he was farming, I like watched him on the wave and I watched him walk to the hard camp. And I knew that if I walk over to him with my ult, nothing bad is going to happen to me. And the only things that can happen are good. Because he can never do anything to me, like in a vacuum, one-on-one. Doesn't matter that he's more.
He either runs away or he fights you and loses.
Yeah, because if he spins, I just hit him through spin and do a lot more damage. And then if he omni slashes me, I just press alt. Right. Yeah. So this is an 8K Jugg, right? This guy is not a noob. But I mean, no, I think I ran over to him, and when I do that, I just like started hitting him, right?
Yeah.
And that puts a lot of pressure on him because I feel it too from the Jugg side, where like, because I know he feels strong in the game because he's literally like 6K net worth at like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
like,
he was having a monster game.
He's having a monster game.
He's destroying our offlane. Our offlane is just running it down.
So I know he feels strong. Thanos Lamb says Jugg has only Omni and that's all. Yeah, but against Ursa he doesn't. Because I knew to just save and rage for Omni. Yeah, as long as I don't shart my pants and press and rage early, it's free. And I use those words for a reason because I would have sharted if I pressed and rage early because then he would just Omni me.
Because you just hit the guy through spin. You don't need an enraged spin. You just kill him faster than the spin.
Yeah, like, exactly. And then Jugg ended up messing up. He like tried to fight me a little bit, and then he ran away, and then he like went back in for the Omni. And it was a good player, but like I mean he sharded his pants.
So funny. It's funny it was it's an AK player, but it's like then he ran in for the Omni. It's like, dude, what are you doing? That's never gonna do anything. Like you're feeding.
My read, I knew he was gonna do that only because he felt like really strong in the game.
Yeah, he was having a great game.
Because if I was the Jugg, I would honestly feel similarly. Like he
like
kind of
a monster game, like you need to like do a lot.
But I just know that if I just start hitting him, like only good things can happen for me. And then I ended up killing him. I solo killed him. And I think that kill won the game. Yeah, that kill won the game after that. And our team was feeding.
Whoa. I'm like dominating 5 heroes mid solo.
I said our team was feeding. Our team was feeding. Bro. Well, our team implies like you and I.
Me and the boys are playing together mid, doing nothing.
Are separate entities. Jugg feels super strong in low MMR games. Yeah, I mean, I think he's a high B or low A tier carry. Like he's fine.
I talked about the difference because like when you were like, oh my god, the patch dropped, I want to play Jugg, and then you go play Jugg, and it's like rank 50 on enemy team, 3 Eul Scepters.
It's Grimstroke E-Blade bugging
Grimstroke
me. Like,
E-Blade bugging. Like it's just literally so impossible to do.
They're not letting me have fun.
Yeah, he just wants to have fun with the new Juggernaut, and like it's just the robust ass lineup, and they all know how to counter Jugg.
I want to give more context on my Ursa anecdote I was giving real quick. I feel like it makes more sense that it was like 13 minutes into the game and all I had was Battle Fury face boots and I'm like solo killing the enemy carry. That makes it better. Because if you like don't know what time it was, and because if I have like Blink Basher,
The
like
Jugg
of
has
course
like a
I'm gonna kill him.
Mjolnir.
Yeah, no, Jugg. No, he
had a
went
lot of
Fury. He went
Oh,
Fury Manta.
he had Fury and like a Yasha or what?
Yeah,
Like Manta.
I think he had Fury Yasha
Yeah,
at like 14
he
or
had
15
He
minutes.
had a lot of farm. No, he was.
But the other thing that was funny about that, and I think this is real in pubs, is like that dude tilted out after I solo killed him. Then he just like grouped up with his team and like went mid and hit our T2 and died like twice in a row.
He got his. I remember he got his Battle Fury. He was like 4-0 with a Battle Fury, and then 5 minutes later he's 4-4. Like he just ran it down with the Battle Fury after dying once. And the first death was to you.
And I agree, that is tilting because like any time in the Dota game when a carry solo kills the enemy carry, it's basically GG. Like it's just way too good for.
It's also like insane. It's an insane morale boost for our team. Because what's happening is we're 4v4ing mid. It's all like the useless fucks just 4v4ing mid while like the carries with the Battle Furies are actually like scaling or something. And so we're all fighting mid and like no one cares about what's happening mid. People are just feeding. My Rubik is like 0 and 52 at like 10 minutes. And then Jugg kills, or sorry, Ursa kills the Jugg and it's like laugh, tip. Like everyone sees that shit. They're like, oh hell, like we won. We literally won.
Yeah. No, I was kind of swagging on him too. I was like stutter stepping when he was omniing me, like in my ult.
Yeah.
Oh, poor guy.
You know, as soon as he gets out that you're booming him.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, I think, kind of relating it back to the Storm one, like, because killing carries is like super demoralizing / like good for your team's morale. It's the same shit with like Storm that I think makes him such a particularly good pub hero. Is that so many times when I've played Storm, and it's like losing to Slark as well. Like when you're dying to Storm or Slark and like on cooldown and he's just ganking everyone, people just crash out. Like they just give up. They're over it. That literally, I mean, that happened. Like I don't know. We won a couple fights. Like I'm Storm. I got my Orchid. I killed a puck. And then I killed this Tusk like twice. And the dude just like bought back and like ran straight down middle and started fighting us.
I think part of it is because it's so hard to play from behind against those heroes. Because it really is oppressive. Because you can jump them from like half the minimap away.
Against jump heroes, this is super applicable to Legion. And dude,
you jump them.
Well, no. Noobs feed to Legion. Is you need to group up. Because all these Legion players, what they're going to do is they're going to duel anything they ever see on their monitor, right? So if you just put a guy on the wave and you have all 4 of your teammates standing behind, the Legion's just going to feed you a free kill.
Yeah, I remember you and I had a really good game against the Snowballing Legion where we literally just decided to like group up for no particular reason. We just balled up his 5 in the enemy jungle. And then he died like twice in a row.
And we're not
just like doing that.
Just to clarify, like
good things happen.
We're not 5 people hitting the same wave or anything. We're playing the same area because it's
you're
like all playing this area versus like you have one guy top and another guy bot and like everybody's in the side jungle. Like you just need to play the same area and defend each other. That's what you need to do when there's like devastating.
Even though, it still feels bad because it's not as efficient, obviously, as like splitting up. But I also remember we had another game. I think it was against the Legion or maybe it was a Storm. But we lost, and I remember thinking, like, I wish we did the same thing. Like, just played in the same area as our team.
Because you're just going to feed.
Yeah. Like, but, I mean, if they're good, they'll, like, go to the other side of the map and just farm.
Yeah, but that's when you... Well, it's chill then. But, like, you're getting some space for yourself, too.
No, it doesn't feel good if you're, like, 5 in 1 jungle farming. That's the thing.
But, like, I mean, there's more nuance to it than that, right? Like, we could be doing that, but I could be, like, killing waves mid on, like, Storm Spirit and zipping away. And you could be getting top waves in. And
I mean, in a pub though, if you like group up with your team in the jungle, I don't think a lot of that is happening, unfortunately.
Well,
but people will still feed to it,
right? I'm the core that's doing it. My teammates aren't farming. I don't care as long as they're not feeding 200 duel damage by 10 minutes. Like, let's group. But I think that.
I mean, it's still good. To be clear, I'm not arguing against it. I think that the enemy Legion or Storm will feed to it if you guys like group up as 5.
Procedure, and usually good things happen if you do that. Like, it's just proper procedure.
Yeah. There are a few things in Dota where just like good things will happen in general if you do that. And the reason why is, or there are a ton of like nuanced reasons why, but just like putting that idea under the umbrella of good things will happen if you do this, I found that is a really good way. Or I like tell a lot of my coaching students that, and then sometimes I explain why, or I explain why a lot of the time. Yeah. But I usually start with like good things happen if you do X. And a few examples of that are, one, if you play in the enemy jungle, just in general in the early in the mid game, good things happen. Yeah. And the reason I say good things happen is because it doesn't need to mean like killing the guy, right? Like you'll get more objectives, like you'll take good team fights, like kills will happen more naturally. Your team will roche more. Or another more micro example of this concept of like good things will happen is if you defensively aggro in lane. Like that typically just causes good things to happen. Like enemy supports will go out of position. You'll get more creeps. You know, the list goes on. And the exact reason why is like pretty nuanced, but just causes good things to happen.
I remember I was
Do
watching
more
an
of it.
Arteezy stream, and this kind of like further clarifies the whole like group up concept, because they were 4 top and his support shaker, who has blink, just kept going bot. He's radiant, so his support shaker keeps going to the dead lane alone and just farming it, and just he died on the wave like genuinely 5 times in a row. And then Arteezy like crashed on him. It's like, we just need our shaker to like stop farming and come top. And I think like what I found insightful is, if you're going bottom, you're farming. That's what you're doing by going to the dead lane. You could be like, oh, but let's all go here. That's garbage. That's shit, right? Because like their tier 1 off lane is up and like the whole team's going to show up there and you don't have your tier 1 tower at this point in the game. It's just a terrible area to play. So ain't nobody going there. So if you're going there, you're just not participating in any aggressive moves. You're just farming. And that's okay sometimes. Like maybe the game states that and you're Ember and you want to split out the side lane and they can't catch you and you just want to farm. Then you can do that. But it's just important to be cognizant that like you are just farming. And if you're against Legion, who's snowballing and killing anybody who shows ever, can you just like, this kind of relates as well to, you had a Drow coaching, and Drow's kind of a glass cannon. This is with DNM. And DNM said that like, as Drow, who's a glass cannon, you need to go attack the enemy, because if you just wait around, you're waiting for them to come to you and just kill you, right?
Yeah.
So you need to blow them up.
That applies just generally, not even just to Drow. Like it's just a Dota concept. It's kill or be killed this patch. Like whoever gets the jump
it
is
depends on the situation,
having a really good time.
In
general, what I'm saying is correct.
If you're against Legion or a snowballing storm and you're gonna go wait and farm, you're waiting to just be your food, right? Just waiting on the map to be killed. You need to attack them and like find pickoffs and stuff like that. Like you can't just sit bot and like in a losing game state show on waves and just feed over and over and over again.
Yeah, it feels really bad for these heroes if they get initiated on.
Yeah,
because they love to select their targets.
This is the perfect transition, because talking about Legion remind me of this, but I have a bone to pick with supports. As always, I hate supports, and they hate me. But the bone I have to pick with is save supports. I have a bone to pick with save supports.
Why, are they not saving you?
No, because every time these players all, like, we were against a Legion and like 2 people bought an E-Blade and they're like, I'll save you, bro. I'll save you. I did not get E-Bladed once the whole game.
Yeah, that was cringe.
And
I remember
I don't think these people understand like how big of a ruin it is. Because also they like will a lot of these save supports will like half-ass be behind you and they're like 2 screens away. I saw this in Dream League today where there was an Oracle and there was 2 plays in a row. I mean, when it's a pro game, the jump is much more devastating, and they also will catch the Oracle way.
Yeah, I think you need to be further back because they're waiting for Oracle to show, and then they're just gonna.
But this is like pretty early game. This is pretty early game. But there was 2 plays in a row where the Oracle's sitting behind someone mid, and the guy mid gets completely one shot, and the Oracle's just out of range. Okay, and then BSJ was harping on it on the panel. He was like,
"Wait, who is playing Oracle?"
I don't remember the game. I just remember the panel after, because it was like pretty visceral, but it wasn't easy. Like the guy literally was it was like an echo slam from the mid shaker. Like the guy's getting deleted in half a second, right? Like he's just dying.
Yep.
But
I mean, it's still on the Oracle to like know that
exactly,
that can happen.
Because here's the issue: is that like a lot of the times these supports will communicate and be like, or they'll be behind you, and then that makes me think I can farm the wave, right? And then, so I get baited to farm the wave, and then I just get jumped in one shot. And it's like, dude, if you weren't here, I wouldn't be on this wave. So, like, you got to save me, brother. Like, you got to help me. But it was just funny because BSJ was harping on it really hard, that it was like, that really ruined the game. And then Sheever, no flame to Sheever, I love Sheever, but she came in with the support player Cope, where she was like, yeah, but he was out of range. And BSJ just like, exactly. Like, he needs to be in range.
It's on the Oracle to be in range.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I think in particular with E-Blade, man, like people don't E-Blade you. That's something that you do on support really well. Like you'll E-Blade me, like if I get dueled. It's particular with E-Blade. I don't know why.
No.
In that game, we had a Pudge E-Blading. He's going for the E-Blade hook. The E-Blade slow into the hook.
Yeah, he's like E-Blade hooking people instead of saving. And the enemy Legion's like the only hero doing anything. Here's what I think it is that when I'm playing something with save, like, or I have an E-Blade, like, like Tinker support, right? And I buy an E-Blade because there's like a Troll Warlord or something. Like, I understand that the most impact I could have is this E-Blade, right? And like, so the other stuff in the fight, I think that the supports get lost in the sauce of the other stuff in the fight. Like, they're trying to like do too much. Whereas like when I'm Tinker and there's like a Legion duel
Yeah,
and I
that's
have
like the
E-Blade,
only thing that
I am
matters.
literally just sitting
Yeah.
in the trees AFK looking for duel. And then the
Yeah.
guy duels you and I E-Blade that shit. And then I play the fight. But like,
Yeah.
that is what I need to do.
It's so impactful. It's so impactful.
Yes. Yeah.
I
It's
don't
really,
know
really
why
important.
people don't do that. I agree. I think it's because they try to do too much, or like maybe part of it too is they like forget to do it. I think because the team fight breaks out and like a lot's happening, and they don't focus on the right thing.
I actually think that's what it is, because they're like sitting behind waiting for it, but then the team fight starts and they're like absorbing all the information of the team fight and they just forget. But like, you can be absorbing all the information of the team fight. It's just like, don't lose sight of like, if that is your most important job, then just like, you need to be. It's really hard to do stuff on reaction, as we've discussed before, right? So like, you can't be doing it on reaction.
Yeah,
you need to be waiting for it. I think that's the issue. Is that a lot of people, they like buy the. I also think, dude, it's these. I mean, I'm just going off on supports. But like, it's these support scientist savants who think they're gonna like buy their E-Blade and save, but like, these people have never saved anyone with E-Blade in their life, to be honest. But they like buy the E-Blade and they're like, I'm so smart, like, I'll save you, bro. Like, you don't need to worry. But like, they think that buying the E-Blade has accomplished the task. No, now you gotta press the E-Blade. Like, it's not easy. It is not easy at all.
Yeah, in fact, it's really hard.
It's really hard.
It's really hard.
Right?
Yeah.
So like,
I found in general when I play support in particular, I have a lot more success. I've been playing a lot of support recently for people who like, know me, been watching my content. I used to be kind of like a carry only guy, but I've been studying support recently, and my support stocks are kind of mooning right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Stocks are kind of moving.
And I experience a really big difference in my support play when I think in strategy time versus when I don't think. Like, it's literally night and day. And I think part of that is because playing support like at a really high level might be kind of new to me, so I still need to think about it. But I mean, even when I'm on carry in Dota in general, just like thinking about something that matters in advance like really, really helps. So when I'm on support, that could be my core's timing and lane. So I was laning with a Dawnbreaker recently, and so I'm thinking to myself before that lane that Dawnbreaker wants to all in people, right? And he wants to all in people when he has a power spike on his second spell, which is going to be level 3 or level 5. So I think like, okay, I'm going to do that when he hits level 3 and level 5. And then right when he hits his level up timer, I'm Disruptor, like Thunderstrike Glimpse, enemy Muerta just dead.
You could even play for it more by like taking it another step further, not to add too much to it, but you can take it a step further by giving this guy solo XP when it comes into the tower to accelerate him to that timing. Because like, realistically, if you're Disruptor, you and Dawn both being level 3 later is not as impactful as you having Thunderstrike Glimpse and this guy having level 3.
Yep.
He's gonna like one shot them.
No, I had a really smurf play on Weaver 4 a few weeks ago where I was laning with Shadow Fiend offlane. Okay, and it's the same thing with Shadow Fiend offlane where he wants level 3.
Yeah.
So what I did is I hard pulled, gave him solo XP under tower, and checked the mid water rune at 4 minutes while he was getting his level 3 solo under tower. Then I came back when he had his level 3 and we killed him. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And also,
that's like
I'm pretty
perfect.
Sure we killed mid too.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's like perfect, efficient support gameplay. Support is all about doing the most things in the littlest time possible.
Like being as efficient as possible.
Being efficient, but also getting things done.
Well, like, it's different than like, because when you hear efficiency, people think like
it's not like farming.
Arteezy farming patterns. Holy shit, he's so efficient. It's not like that. It's like you need to be as a support. You have a lot of jobs to do in the game. It's not an easy role. And it's like selecting between the best options and like seamlessly moving between them. Because I just don't think, and like, it's important. This is why the strategy time is important, is you need to base, it's too much to think about in the game. So you need to base these decisions in something. Like, for example, with you, when you came mid for the water runes, I'm pretty sure the matchup was like spirit on spirit action, right? It's
no, it was Ember Huskar.
Or Ember Huskar, that's why.
You were Ember and enemies Huskar.
And there's like a lot of reasons why he should come mid. First off, Huskar is like really, really vulnerable early, right? Like, especially pre-6. But yeah, earlier is better when it comes to ganking Huskar. And also, if he doesn't come mid, like I'm Ember, like I'm gonna have nothing.
Well,
Right?
in that situation, it's interesting because what was my other option after I pulled a hard camp? I don't want to sap XP, so I could
Sit in the
either
trees and do
stack.
nothing.
Well, I
Or
could stack the ancients, or
Yeah.
go mid. Right? Those are or maybe like try to block or unblock or
But
yeah,
nobody,
block the
dude.
enemy pull camp.
But no.
Right?
My support is eating glue in the
Yeah, no,
trees.
exactly. It's funny because the supports choose to do nothing. When in
Yeah, they
reality,
choose to do nothing.
like when I'm coaching supports too, it's like I lay out the options for them. The important thing is that they pick one of the options, not that they pick the right one. They just need to do
you can
something.
work on
Just
picking
something.
the right options later. But like, yeah, I feel like a lot of dude. You know what's funny as well?
Yeah, it's about minimizing being useless. Hold on, I need to get this out. I heard BSJ say this. Like this is an old video, and it stuck with me.
Yeah.
And he said that he was coaching someone on support, and what like really stuck with them is he told them to ask themselves at any point in the game in the lane, am I being a useless piece of shit right now? And I started asking myself that when I play support, and I found a lot of the time I am. And then if you are, just go do something useful. It can be
Literally
anything.
just anything.
Just
please.
do something.
Please do something.
Go check a rune, like go ward.
Buy the wards, buy the smoke, just do anything.
It's hard.
Bro.
I'm not saying it's easy. Like it's honestly
easy.
hard to be useful on support. But
Okay.
the first step is identifying that you're being useless.
Yeah, and I also want to get this out there because, dude, on our tier list video, the supports came out and they were pissed. Okay.
Yeah, we made a neutral item tier list right before the
and
patch.
the supports came out and said core player bias. These guys are such cores. It's like, dude, supports are such a cult. They hate us.
Yeah, they are.
But
I love how we have the ethos to talk shit on supports now because you and I both play support. You and I both play support really well.
I think we got to get this out there. My most successful is support right now. I will go support for support with anybody who's commenting on these YouTube videos. You're garbage, bro. You're garbage. Okay, my support fucking dwarfs you 30 times over. You're trash. Okay, and all these support copers, such cores. All these, I really like that we've been playing support because you playing support and me playing support, a lot of times what our formula is, we've been playing double support as well, but we'll be on support and core. Like he'll be support and I'll be mid, or he'll be carry and I'll be support. And it just made me realize I don't want to like hate on them too much, but it is what it is.
No, I think they deserve it.
They deserve it. That after playing support and playing with a support who's like synergizing with me, it just made me realize how fucking useless every support player is. They just literally eat glue for 40 minutes.
It's pretty bad.
They don't do anything.
Supports are so useless.
It's disgusting.
Even like 8.5k MMR. Yes. They literally do nothing.
Yeah, they really do nothing. I'm not gonna trauma dump too much, but like this is just an example. I was playing Beastmaster and I had a clockwork.
Oh, this is a straight trauma dump. Oh no. This game was an incident and a half.
No, I just ran it down. But what happens is I get tri-laned on by like TA Pudge and like a stunning like 5 hero. So it's like nightmare fuel for me. And I'm telling my clock we can just chill and farm and play for stacks. And my clock literally just runs in and cogs himself in the middle of 3 people, respawns, TPs, cogs himself in the middle of 3 people. Like you're just so fucking useless, dude. And I was like, it's not easy, right? Like he literally can't do anything for me. He can't do anything for me. So get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
man.
he should have just went bot.
Go mid, go bot. I don't care.
Yeah.
Just stop feeding. Stop feeding my lane. Like so the framework of like if you're being useless is really, really good because I think 99% of supports are just being useless like most of the game.
Yeah. Well, in that Clockworks case, he was like being less than useless because he was just like dying.
Yeah.
I think what most supports do is they just are doing nothing. They're having zero impact. It's not negative impact. It's not positive. Yeah, they literally just stand in the trees and do nothing. A lot of supports rotate mid and do nothing too. They just like give their mid moral support. I've noticed.
Well, I like when heroes stand next to me.
At 9 minutes, you like that when they're TPing at 8:53?
No, I mean I would prefer if they showed up for the rune. That'd be awesome. Instead of showing up 30 seconds after the enemy mid gets the rune. But if I'm strong,
that's what they do.
Yeah, but if I'm strong, I'm probably here's what it is that, and this relates to being support because we were talking about how there's a bunch of options, right? So it's easy to get lost in the sauce. What you need to do is just go where you're strongest, okay? If you're getting stomped in your lane, get out of there. You're shit, right? Oh, my bot lane's winning instead? Go bot, okay?
Yeah.
I've had a lot of good support games where we'll be losing the lane, I'll die, my offlaner will die, and my offlaner will say something like puta madre, like kill yourself or something, and I'm in the other lane, right? We lost this lane. It's over. Because my other lanes are owning. And then I have insane impact, and my offlaner is useless, and it's fun.
That's another like Dota phrase that I think applies to a lot. It's to play where you're strong, not where you're weak. Like it applies at all stages of the game, like in the lanes too. And so many people, I mean, we've probably said this before, but like everyone does the opposite of that. Hey, what's up, Benor? So many people do the opposite of that, where they play
literally do the
where they're
opposite,
weak,
man.
where like the enemy carry will be like snowballing, and they'll think like, oh, I have to shut him down.
The
And they
most
just go
classic
feed him 2
example
more
is just like a
kills.
snowballing bristleback. Like, how many times is there a snowballing bristleback and your whole team runs at that guy one by one and just like feed him? Like, just get the fuck out of there, guys. He's gonna own us. He's just gonna own us.
I mean, because the solution, I mean, it's hard because this requires nuance, but it's like to scale in your own way and then like get items to counter him and then kill him when you can kill him.
Yeah.
And people in pubs never listen to like when I call them like go away from bristle or like play where you're strong. People never listen to that. They always do the opposite.
It's not just okay, because you can look at it as play where my team is strong. So let's say I'm Ember and I'm the strongest hero. I love to have heroes with me, but you could also look at it as attack the enemy's weakest heroes. I had a really good Ember game that like reminded me of this, where they're like I was owning really hard on Ember and they're like Lesh mid left, right? Because he's getting fucked. So this guy is just perma jungling, doing nothing. And who comes mid? The level 3 support like AA comes to Sappa the mid wave, okay? And I'm like level 8 Ember. So what I do, like what some people would do is like go run at their carry. I need to kill their carry. I gotta kill their carry. But like this AA is down horrendous for some XP. He's down terrible, right? So just run at him. He's the weakest bastard.
Yeah,
ever.
it's a free snack, and those snacks go a long way. Yeah,
yeah,
because he has no game as well if you like kill him before he gets his 6.
Yeah. I also think that like a lot of it is rooted in like being reactive or like stemming the bleeding, not just in the sense of like running at their strongest guy because you're like he's so strong we got to shut him down, but also people just want to like
that's where the fighting is, so they want to like go to the fighting.
They want to make like the killer move where they like gank like the enemy carry and own, but like why are you gonna let because I just think what this is coming from is more of a proactive mindset, and I noticed this big shift in my games where I have this mindset where instead of just like I don't know, trying to like have some theoretical great outcome for the game, like I kill their enemy carry. It's like, let me just fucking attack anyone who's weak. If I can do something, just attack them.
That's
AA
good.
mid, attack him. Like you need to attack the weak bastards.
I think the former mindset comes from like trying to do too much, like too quickly. We need the dopamine, Pyne, big kill equal big gold. No, that's true. People need that.
Guns away.
But no,
I agree. I actually do think that a lot of these people that are making these decisions are just dopamine chasing. Like there's like an 8-0 bristleback, and they're like, but the dopamine hit if I killed bristle would go crazy.
Yeah, there are a lot of dopamine chasers. We got a good question for Menor. You can talk about it if you want to put it up on the screen. Okay, sure. This will be maybe a decent segue into the Q&A here. We can like weave in some questions too. Sure. This is a good question. Do you guys feel that telling someone what to do makes them do the opposite even more? I think it all depends on how you communicate, but in general, yes. In general, hard yes. Especially if you say it multiple times. If you say it multiple times and you have like any hint of a whiny or passive aggressive tone,
you can't.
You can't. There's a good anecdote here. I'm gonna call out Pyne because that clockwork he was talking about earlier, like
I was going off on him.
He griefed the game. No, this is why I want to call you out, because you were not going off on him at all. You were just passive aggressive.
Yeah,
over and over again.
I was like, get the fuck.
You were just mildly passive aggressive.
Yeah.
I don't even think you said that. I thought you were like,
I told him to like,
please man, go bottom. Yeah, or something
I was like
that.
Please stop feeding. Get out of here. Go bot. Something like
that.
But
it's all your tone, and like, I think another good communication anecdote is just that you should communicate what your hero can do instead of like telling them what to do. So for example,
don't play their hero.
I'm carry bottom. There's a weak axe in my lane. I have a support Rubik 4 who I think can kill the axe. I'm going to say axe is weak down here, guys. Like I can kill him with +1.
Kills.
Yeah, I'm going to say axe is free kills. I'm not going to say Rubik, come bottom. Like there's a very big difference. If I say Rubik, come bottom, I mean, honestly, I might try that. I think that's fine if I like have it with a good tone. Yeah. But if I say that multiple times, I think he's likely to do the opposite.
I hate to say it, but recently I've been put on that like it really comes across in your tone. Like so much more than you would think, where when I'm in the game and I'm vibing, even if my team is like straight up eating glue, like, and I'm just keeping it light, I'm like, with the comms, then people are just more they just listen more, right? Whereas if you're very tense, and what I think for me personally, my anecdote is that the tension comes from like knowing the game's not going the way I want it to and desiring a certain outcome. Like I want to win and I expect my teammates to do certain things, so I'm getting frustrated. But like that just comes across in the way you communicate. Whereas like just keep it light. It's like, yo guys, like it's like, yo, let's check the runes and smoke up. I'm hella strong. Like people like that. But if I'm like, check the runes, oh, we lost.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Or after, and I can feel it because like some games I'll be like super light and I'm like, yo, like we can fight on the runes, guys. Like I fucking own right now. And people are like, hell yeah, let's go to the runes. And then I had one game where like after I'm jaded after a long night of Dota, where the guy gets the rune, and it's like, this is just terrible comms across the board where it's like 6:05 and the guy already got the rune. I'm like, guys, we need to check the runes. It's
yeah,
like,
no,
Jesus.
exactly. That's
the worst
bad.
vibes ever. It's just awful.
It's true though.
You make yourself an enemy by communicating like that too. Like no one will listen to you if you
communication's big. Like Higher High says Dota community loves to grief. They will always find a reason, especially in losing games. I think that they will grief if like you're passive aggressive or like whiny, but I think if you don't say anything or you keep it positive, like people don't actually grief that much. But I agree that people find a reason
based on vibes.
Yeah.
Like
in general.
Yeah. I mean, you could say they're griefing because they're feeding, but they're just feeders, right? Like they're not griefing. People actively grief the game when you're passive aggressive to them or you're aggressive to them.
Yeah, because they take it personally. That's what it is. And they want to harm your MMR.
You need to not make it personal.
What's happening in our games is like we get these players who play like 10 games a day, and Pyne and I don't play that much. So like one game doesn't really matter to them as much. And so like griefing one game doesn't really matter to them. They have more fun like griefing Pyne because he was passive aggressive than they do like winning the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if I was never passive aggressive, then they won't have any fun griefing me because I didn't do anything. I'm not a bad guy.
Yep. Pre 10-minute GG and all chat for my team is a mute for me. I'm just muting them and playing the game.
You just say nothing to that. You literally just keep playing. Here's another thing we've also talked about is like a lot of people will say stuff like GG or like holy shit we lost or like mid gap, my mid's so AFK. And there's nothing you could possibly say to that person to like make them have a more positive mental, right? What you need to do is own the game and show them. Yeah. Like if he's like, oh my God, my mid's AFK. Yeah, see you in 2 minutes when I fucking gank, buddy. I ain't AFK now. Right? Like that's what he wants to see. And people won't listen to you unless you do stuff like that. You can't talk your way out of these situations. I mean, you can vibe. I think that helps. I've been doing a better job of that in some of our games. Actually, a lot better job, to be honest, because it was only like last week where I had like the beast incident where I literally was just like going off on clock.
That was like yesterday. That was like 2 days ago. That was not
yesterday.
That was like 2 days ago.
That was like half a week. That was like 4 days ago.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway,
this is pre-patch.
But I had a lot of success in like the last 2 days in our ranked games where I just like keep it light, like keep the vibes up.
Yeah. I think this is a good shout. I have a video about this. It's called like why you play worse than you are, or like there's a thumbnail of a brain. I forget the exact title, but this is a good shout to the concept of stupid stacks. I'm not going to explain it right now, but if you haven't seen that video, this is funny because I think this is like my best video on my YouTube channel, but it's one of the lowest views. But it's super insightful, and it's basically it's basically about like playing worse because of psychological factors, and it's like based on studies and stuff. And one of the factors is like having a desired outcome of the game. Like if you want to win the game and you really want to win the game,
here's the
you're
other
more
issue
likely to lose.
That I find when I start beefing or engaging with my teammates who are like typing GG and tilting and stuff like that, is that now it becomes personal for me too, because I've engaged with this freak and I want to prove him wrong, right? Like if I'm telling this guy, or like if I'm being passive aggressive with this clock, I want to show him that I'm the GOAT and he's a fucking stupid little bot, right? Or if I'm like trying to like babysit my guy who said GG, like now it's in my head that, oh my God, if I fuck up my spell casting once, he's gonna freak out. And that kind of thoughts, or those kind of thoughts, are inhibiting your ability to play your best Dota because you're not thinking about the game.
100%.
You're worried about that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So that's why I think it's just better to never engage with that kind of stuff, because it's not even about like improving your teammates' performance. It's that it makes you play worse. And that's at least my personal anecdote, because it makes it personal.
Me too. Yeah. It's different for everyone, but
yeah,
I think a good general way to look at it is like keep it about the Dota.
Yeah.
Not about other things. There are a few comments I want to kind of highlight here. One, I think patience wins Dota games. My pet peeve is we need to end early. We lose late game. I agree with the second part of that, because it's about like there's nuance to it, right? A lot of people will like look at an enemy draft and say like, oh, we lose late. But in reality, I mean, you and I have talked about this a lot, so I don't want to harp on it too much. But it's like if you're 10K net worth ahead at 30 minutes, it doesn't matter how well they scale because net worth deficit like trumps that.
Yeah.
Right. So if you just wait and you like farm more than them, like it's all good. This is a mentality of the past. This is a 15-year-old
scaling isn't an inevitability.
mentality.
There's finite space on the map, right? Like they're not just gonna scale if you're just like if they're trapped in their base the whole game.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work like that.
All right, we got a really good question here.
I want to talk really quick more on this because
Yeah.
I actually like it a lot. That also is my peeve. I agree. But what I wanted to say is that I also agree that patience wins Dota games. And because the anecdote that we were talking about where it's like you farming on beast and I just wait 20 seconds to smoke with you, like I just feel like a lot of players aren't willing to do that. Like I really think it's because they're all just like chasing dopamine the whole time. And like
I think that's a big part of it.
They don't want to make like coordinated moves or like thought out moves. They just want to like go dopamine max and like brawl in the middle lane.
Yeah.
But the only other thing I want to say on this is that like when someone says like we need to end early, we lose late game. Once again, there's nothing you can say. You can't teach that guy in the middle of the game. But what you can do to like make him not freak out is like, and this is also related to another comment I just saw, is like, oh shit, we need to end early. All right, let's do Roche. Oh, let's go take Tormentor. Oh, let's do something, right? Like, I also think that objectives in general, like really turn your team into a cohesive unit. When they're like, even the most ragtag dog teams, if you get everybody at the Roche pit and then you smoke after the Roche, like the vibes are up.
That's true. It's good vibes. Even just the simple Torm. It's easy to do.
Exactly. I think the vibes are underrated because sure, the 1.4K gold like shard is really good. But I honestly think like us taking the Torm and then you're like laughing about how your useless support got the fucking shard. Like that adds so much to your team's chemistry. That is super underrated.
Yeah. Guys, please don't mention Tormentor. Why?
That's also why I think like, dude, items like Mana Drought, Polywog Charm, like Kobold's Cup, like all of these things where you like press them on your teammates, it just add to vibes so hard.
Yeah.
Like when I'm like playing Storm and my support comes over and like mana boosts, like Mana Droughts me, like, dude, fuck yeah, dude. We're fucking
no team. Tormentor has been taken in my last 15 games. Have you called for it once? Called for it once though? Because I find that when I call for Torm, people will come.
Yeah, and also what you need to do is be like at 18:30, you need to say, hey, let's play for Tormentor top next at 20.
Yeah, because it gives people time to plan.
You don't need to be like, you need to go here. Get to the fucking Tormentor now. Especially if you do it at like 20 minutes and you're like, everyone Tormentor top. Everyone Tormentor top. Nobody's coming.
That's a good shout because people need time to plan for it because it's like in a really awkward part on the map. Another thing I do is I'll call it when people are near it. Like if I see 2 or 3 heroes already near it and I'm not near it, I will go there and I'll get them to Torm because people will always do it. I'm sure even at 6K people will do it if they're in the area. But if you're like calling it and everyone's across the map, like there's just a lot of friction. There's very little dopamine to be gained by walking to the Tormentor. So
don't call it at 0-0-0-0. Don't do that.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's bad vibes.
No,
that's
don't
funny.
do that. What you should do, and you also shouldn't be making a definitive call. Once again, people don't like to be told what to do. That's just the reality. You can't tell people to go Torm. What you do is, I think what's really important about this, you're really good about this, like talking about what our next objective is as a team. And the reason why I think it's so valuable is because 99% of the players you're going to get in your pubs are flying blind. They have no idea what the fuck is happening, okay? And they're not thinking about anything. So it actually helps your team a lot if you're like, it's 18:30 and you're like, yo, we're going to play for Tormentor next. It's going to be top. That's all you got to say. You don't got to be like, come top. You just say like, that's what we're going to play for next. If people come top, you take the Torm. If they don't come top, it's all good.
It's 6K people will be receptive to that.
I mean, yeah. I think so.
I also think if you're playing support, people will listen to your objective calls more than if you're playing core in general. I think that's a real phenomenon that happens. This is a great question. I just hit Ancient, and I find the easiest games are when someone takes on a captaincy role. I play role queue. What do you consider the most important macro calls a player at my rank should have?
I think
Roche.
What we just said, just communicate what the next objective is.
Yes.
You don't need to call to do the objective because the objective could also be like, and it also can relate to you. Let's say you're carry and the next objective is like the bottom enemy safe lane T1 tower. you could just let the boys know, like in your like faceless void, it's like, yo, I'm gonna hit 6 and I want to like gate bot and like take the tower. And like something like that. Like that really gives a lot of direction to your team. And whether or not they play on it is not a big deal. I do think that people will just perform better if you communicate stuff like that and you're not telling them what to do. That is important.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
also how, I mean, we talked about this before, but like how you're communicating these things matters a lot.
Yeah.
I actually find that typing for objectives helps or is better sometimes than talking. Like if you want to torm, just type like torm in 1 minute. And that's more effective if you haven't typed anything the whole game. So that's another like piece here is if you're talking a lot in the game over text, yeah, you should limit your communication because if you're talking a lot, people will listen to you less. And like Pyne and I have so many examples of this where it happens to both of us. Some games like or most of the time
games, this
is him. He's like talking a lot. I'm saying nothing, and then I say like I get in the mic at like 20 minutes. I'm like Roche, and then my team goes to Roche,
and
like
the
it's
whole
the Navy.
Just like 3 people TP instantly. Like
yeah,
hell yeah, dude.
But then there are some games, and this like validates it because at first I was like, is it Pyne? Like, do people just hate this guy? But then there's some games when I'm talking a lot, and Pyne's not, and then he'll say one thing at 20 minutes, and then everyone will go like do the thing that he said. So, damn, just realize I'm kind of a backseat gamer. Yeah, you got to stop that.
Yeah, you just can't do that.
You got to stop that.
Because it's not about because it's communicating the same concepts, but you're not backseating them, right? You're just communicating what you think is like the next step for your team, but you're not backseating individual players, and I think that's really important.
Yeah, the new pings are really cool. I agree.
Exactly.
It's just people like them more.
No,
I like them more. I think people listen to them more. They're so cool.
Because I think limiting your communication is really good. And like, for example, if I spam the mic all game, I think what happens is that I literally spam the mic all game, okay? And I think I just blend into the background noise. Like, bro's got the music on, music too fucking loud, and like I've just been talking the whole game, so he's not gonna parse that shit for important information.
Dude, even for me that happens. I'm in your party and I know what you're saying is valuable, but that phenomenon happens to me where you just like literally fade into the background. You're like part of the Dota game.
When you're carry, a lot of it's not related to you. I'm talking to my supports. But like I don't.
Yeah, exactly. So I subconsciously like tune it out a little bit.
But like I don't need to communicate all of this so much. Like I can keep it more concise. But yeah, so I think, and also what I was gonna say is that the pings like are really, really good at communicating. Like you can communicate about 99% of the concepts in Dota through pings and chat wheels alone.
Yeah.
You don't need to talk.
Chat wheel is really underrated.
Chat wheel's OP.
When I tune into like 15k MMR games, I see almost everyone in the game like has good chat wheel etiquette and like usage.
Yeah. What I really like recently is I'm retreating. We saw that on a stream recently.
Yeah, really, that's really a cultured one. Yeah. That's a cultured one.
Because I also like that one because like it builds into the communication fundamentals. You're not telling anyone else what to do. You're just letting them know I'm retreating, boys. If you want to stay and feed, but like I'm out. I'm fucking out.
Yeah. It's like when I say I'm kiting in the mic.
Yeah,
so exactly. Good. It just only relates to your hero, but it's also very relevant for your team. That's why they're so good. Because like that is relevant information to communicate. That's a good comp.
You want to provide information for your teammates to play off of, but you're not telling them, you're not making the decisions for them. You're just telling them I'm kiting. I need to get out. I'm TPing home. And then they can make their decisions off that. Now, we also like spam the get back ping and stuff like that, but it's like...
I think I use the get back ping too much. Yeah. Because even with the chat wheels, the more you use it, the less effective it is.
Yeah, I agree. I like get back though. It is good, but
I think I just use it too much, but I agree. I think it's good.
Yeah, I am retreating is like really based, honestly.
Yeah. Albino Zebra putting his calls on cooldown. Yeah, that's accurate.
Exactly.
If you make a bad call, you have to earn your calls.
No, you do go on cooldown. That's exactly what it is.
No, the communication aspect of Dota is like so important. Yeah, I mean, we were already pretty good at it.
Yeah, I think we're better than most people at it, but still.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think this is a good time to like officially start the Q&A. I know we've like done it. I'm gonna include, I think, up to this point, like in the full episode on YouTube. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, we'll hang out for a little bit, talk to chat. We have some good viewers. We have 14 here just on.
Ooh, wait. I want to drop some meta ranks
on Twitch, and then you have 4 on Twitch. So this is a record. Thanks for being here, everybody. It's cool.
Yeah, I want to drop some meta recs real quick because I talked about mid, but I actually am enjoying other roles more. So
what role are you enjoying more?
Support. So my meta rec for support is Dark Willow and Shadow Shaman.
Yeah.
And Disruptor. I think Disruptor's more of your pick, but my pick for this patch on support is Dark Willow. Dark Willow is OP. Now it's
she's
really,
good.
really hard to play. Or it's like nuanced, right? It's not as easy as like last patch where you pick AA and you like learn that you're supposed to hit blast with a stun. But Dark Willow is really, really powerful.
I think it's still a specialist hero.
But it's a good patch to learn Willow. Yeah. I think she's one of the best supports in the game right now. Shadow Shaman's OP. He's like first ban in Dream League right now.
Disruptor's pretty good.
A lot of people
AA is still good too.
AA is really fun. Yeah, AA is so fun. Is
Mirana 4 good this patch?
I think so.
Let's check the win rate. I would be careful picking Mirana though. I think a lot of people grief really hard on Mirana, so I can't like recommend it in good conscience.
What I would say is you need stunners on your team.
Yes, you need some arrow setup and wait for the setup before you arrow. Just wait, man. Nobody does that shit.
Oh, that's my other rec. Dark Willow and
Oracle's really
Oracle. Good. I hate to say it. But here's what you need to do, guys. I don't understand how this is even humanly possible, but how many Oracles don't ping the facet or like go to the runes at all? That's why they pick it in pro, guys. They pick Storm Oracle, and then you bring 5 heroes to the Arcane rune. Like, that's literally what they're talking about on the panel, is like, oh, it's an Invis? Who gives a shit, right? Oh, it's Arcane rune? It's Arcane rune?
Yeah, bring 5.
The whole team is there. So, like, if you're Oracle, guys, like, talk about the runes with your team and, like, figure out, and you should, Oracle's particularly good with bottle heroes, right? If you're picking Oracle and you have Lone Druid, that shit's ass. But if you have Oracle Storm, that is ownage.
Anything else you want to say, Pyne, for the YouTube session before we because we have a lot of questions in chat right now. So before we jump into it, any other meta recs? Wow, Nature's Prophet 5 has a stock is really high right now. Actually, with Soothing Saplings.
There's a lot of that right now. So
wait, that's kind of hype actually.
I like Bat. Yeah, Bat's especially.
I've been having a ton of fun on Disruptor. I love Disruptor as a hero, and I'm really happy that he's meta right now. Disruptor's a lot of fun.
Yeah, AA is still good, guys. If you didn't get it on your AA last patch, just pick it with a stun and dunk on. You literally dunk on people. Like, it's so fun. You're just dunking on kids the whole game.
Axe and Elsie are good for off lane. Dawnbreaker is good for off lane. We're
just dumping on all the intel. Chip Vest is broken. I think Dormant Curio is broken.
Yeah, Dormant Curio is really good.
It's insane.
It's really good.
Not everyone takes it, but like, dude.
Wait, the AA pos 4 win rate is pretty low actually on Pro Tracker.
On pos 4, yeah.
Let's see what the 5 is.
I mean, he is nerfed. Don't get it twisted.
No, the 5 win rate is below 52. I think it's still good though if you're good at it.
I think
you
it's hard to play, to be honest. I mean, we were literally watching pro games where Ice Blasts are just flying off screen. I saw someone blast point blank by accident and they missed the kill. Like, it's just disgusting.
No, it's true. Once again, just like Mirana, wait for the stun.
Yeah.
Wait till the target
thing. You need
is
arrow setup. Don't just throw the dude. So this happened. Okay. I mean, we can end the YouTube.
Yeah, I want to do a little outro. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Pyne's about to rant. If you want to get in on this this Q&A and like, I guess chill hang, whatever you want to call it, we'll be live. We're going to try to be consistent every week at Sunday. Sunday at 10 a.m. PST is like the time for the podcast. It's not right now because we had a little scheduling conflict this week, but consistency is important.
Be available next week.
Oh my God.
Well, I'm flying in on Sunday. So
starting the next Sunday then.
Next week.
But yeah, tune into the live session if you want to, get your questions answered in chat. Also, if you're here in the YouTube live stream right now we have a dedicated podcast channel for this. And there are like a ton of episodes on it. So the link for that is in the description. And you can also join our Discord and chat with us.
Are really good.
In the description. Okay. Thank you for tuning in, everybody.
Enjoy the patch, guys.